Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jeannie and today we're trying a new to me company. So recently Sundara, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, they released some Halloween dips. So I thought this was a good time to try them. So they did include those water slide decals in my package, which I thought was really nice, but really excited to finally try their dips because I have been eyeing their company for a while. So I did restrain myself. I didn't buy everything, but I really wanted to because they all looked so pretty. It was really hard to choose. So I'm just going to quickly show you the colors I picked up and then we'll get into a mani. All right, let's get into a mani. So I'll be pairing Psycho with Triple D's Hide and Seek, which is like a black to almost clear thermal. And I'll also be using 10 by Tina's dip liquids that I've been using them a lot lately. I've been loving them and they're just so easy to work with. So for the mani, I'm going to start with Triple D's Hide and Seek because that is my solid color. And this is my favorite black to almost clear thermal because it is just so easy to work with. It transitions super easily. It's a very sensitive thermal and it's just really great for like Halloween and those kinds of effects. So I debated for a while on what color I wanted to pair with Psycho because I definitely knew I wanted to use Psycho. So I thought at first I was going to do maybe just a solid black because Psycho is kind of like a clearer base. But when I was going through my dips, when I thought of Hide and Seek, I thought it would just be a really cool effect to see that thermal with the blood spatter look of Psycho. So I'm just patting down my cuticle area because you might have seen that when I was cleaning up my cuticle with my cuticle cleanup tool, there was like a little spot and that was actually my peel base. So I think I accidentally got a little bit of peel base on my skin. I was being a little bit careless. So I just wanted to make sure that my dip was going to stay in place. So I just kind of patted it down. I'm going to do 2 dips of Hide and Seek on my index, pinky, and thumb, and then I'll go ahead and cap and clear before we get into Psycho. And look, did you notice on my index finger that it's already starting to change and transition? And you can actually see it kind of a little bit on my cuticle line on my pinky. So I didn't do anything else. I just dipped in Hide and Seek. I didn't activate anything. I didn't put any more dip base, but just from my body heat, it's already starting to transition. That's how sensitive it is. But that's not it gets sheerer than that. So just wait till you see the full transition. It is so good. The thing about thermals though is you do have to have at least a little bit of length to your nails in order to get the full effect of a thermal. Because if you don't have a free edge, your nail bed area is gonna be, it's gonna take your body heat. So it's gonna be either warm or cold. It's really your free edge area that transitions. So generally when you have a free edge, it's going to be colder. So normally your nail bed area is going to be the warm and then your free edge area is going to be the cold, unless of course it's just super hot or super cold where you are. But like for that cool transition, you need like that little bit of length to your nails. Now that I'm done with my 2 dips, I'm going to go ahead and cap and clear in one of my favorite clears from Dipp'd. It is so clear and so easy to work with, and you can see I bought a giant jug of it because I love it that much. Personally, for me, it doesn't matter if I'm using a solid, shimmer, glitter, whatever it is. I always cap and clear. And that's just because I don't want to run the risk of filing through any of the pigments. I know there's a lot of solids out there where you don't have to worry about that, but I'd just rather play it safe. I'm going to go ahead and activate as well, because after I activate, the foils, any foils or glitters or whatever I use won't stick to an activated nail. So that just helps prevent contamination, and that keeps my solids solid. Peep the cool color change. Activator is cold, so it turned my nails that black, which is the cold color, which is really fun. So anyway, I'm now going to get into Psycho from Sundara. If that's not how you pronounce it, I apologize for mispronouncing it. But this is actually a clear base with red foils in it. But the really fun surprise of this is it has little knife-shaped glitter pieces, which is just so fun. And that's actually what really made me finally cave and buy some products from Sundara. I've been eyeing them for a while. Their products look really great. They've got like a ton of gel products. They look really amazing, but I just don't need another company to be addicted to be quite honest. Like, I have enough companies that I just have to have everything they make, so I just didn't want to add another company to that list. But as soon as I saw Psycho, I was like, it's just so unique, and I just had to have it. Like, I haven't seen little knife glitter shapes before. It's just so fun, and the name Psycho is just perfect for this dip. So anyway, let me talk about what I'm doing. So for my first layer with it's not really chunky because it's just foils, but usually for any foils or glitters, for my first layer, I always like to pour over so that I get less of whatever pieces are in there for the first layer, and that kind of helps reduce any bulkiness it may have. And then the second layer is when I will lay my finger in. So you can see I'm pouring my jar of Psycho into my Dipp'd in Chaos to make it easier to lay in. And I'm just kind of shimmy shaking the Dipp'd in Chaos to bring all the foils to the top, so that for my second layer, you'll see I'm laying my finger directly, like flat into that to pick up the most foils. And then I will actually do a little bit of foil placement as well, because I do want more of that spattered look. So this is where it's really fun, where your creativity can kick in of, you can do less foils for a sheer look. You can add more foils to make it a little more dense with like that kind of blood spatter type look with the red foils. So it's however you want it to look is how you can create it. I did have one of those knife glitter shapes stick a little bit, but I went ahead and removed that because I want to place one myself. You know, it's one of those things where I think more than one, well, maybe a couple would be okay, but you don't want to go too crazy. Well, you can do whatever you want. It's your nails, it's whatever you enjoy. Me personally, I didn't want to go too crazy and have like knives all over my nails. So I just wanted to kind of strategically place like one on each of my nails just to get, you know, a little bit of a different look. I'll show you my placement of the knives and I'll show you just a little bit of the foil placement, but I'm not going to show a lot of it because I did kind of take my time and be a little strategic on where I placed the foils, but I really want to get into the builder gel encapsulation to show you that. So I want to get to that sooner. So that's why I'm going to cut out some of the foil placement. Just to make it easier on myself, because I know I definitely want to place some of those knife glitter pieces, I'm going to go ahead and pick out some of those knives and place it in the lid of my dip jar, just so I have them readily available and I don't have to go fishing for them when my dip base is wet. Because, you know, I mean, the 10 by Tina dip liquids are a little bit of, they're probably about a medium dry time, but I still don't want to waste time fishing for glitters when I need it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a layer of dip base on my entire nail, and then I'm going to place some of the glitters, just a little bit, and I'm using the tweezers because I found that was the easiest to pick up these foils. I did try using my cuticle cleanup tool because that's what I generally use. I'll just dip it in some wet dip base and then try to pick up like the glitters or whatever pieces, but it wasn't really working well with these foils, so it was just easier to pick up with the tweezers. I'm going to use the wax picker end of my iGel Beauty dotting tool to pick up one of those knife glitter pieces, and I'm just going to place that on the center of my middle nail. Now, these pieces, they stick up a little bit, so what you see me doing here is trying to hold it down a little bit. So the key really is, if you're not going to do the activator trick, which I have shown in previous videos before, is you have to wait till your dip base dries down a little bit. You don't want it completely dry, but you want it just like dried down to a little bit of tacky, and then that way when you press down the glitters, they'll stay down better. But if the dip base is just wet, they're not really going to stay. It's just going to move around too much. I had a thought that since Psycho is on a clear base, it might look really cool on top of hide and seek. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just applying a thin layer of dip base to my thumb, and then I'm gonna lay my finger in Psycho to pick up those red foils. And that way you'll see like the really cool transition of the red foils underneath the black, as well as underneath like the almost clear. I went ahead and activated my nails with Psycho, but thinking back on it, I probably actually didn't need to activate them, because really when you activate, you want your dip powder to harden so you can file. But because I'm going to encapsulate in builder gel to be able to file, I probably actually didn't need this activator. Before I apply my builder gel, I do want to apply a layer of gel base so that it has something to adhere to, and I'll be using my hybrid Lite from iGel Beauty to cure my gels. So I'm just going to apply a thin layer of gel base, and this is my Hema free gel base from West Coast Dips, and that's going to create a layer for my builder gel to adhere to. I'll also be using the builder gel from West Coast Dips. So this is Athena. This is their clear builder gel and one of my favorites. I absolutely love all of West Coast Dips builder gels. But I'm going to apply a thin layer to my nail. I'm not going to cure. After my thin layer, I'm going to go in with a thicker amount of builder gel, and I'm kind of going to float that across my nail. So I want to make sure I'm covering my whole nail. You want to make sure that you're not getting on your skin and that you're just covering the whole area. And what I really love about encapsulating with builder gel is one, it provides a thicker protective layer, so it protects your glitters better, especially when you're working with chunky glitters. But two, because it's so clear, it just provides like extra shine, extra blinginess to your glitter that is just so gorgeous. You could also encapsulate with your no cleanse gel top coat and get the same great clarity, but I'll say it's not as thick as your builder gel, so I don't like it as much for my chunkier glitters. I think it's really great for like shimmers and solids and really fine glitters, but for the chunkier glitters, you really need like a thicker builder gel to protect your glitters. I do cure one finger at a time with the builder gel. So once I was done with my middle finger, I gave that a full cure for 60 seconds. So now we're gonna start working and doing the same thing on my ring finger. So I'm just gonna apply a thin layer of builder gel, and that's kind of be like my slip layer of my builder gel. And then once I've got that even layer down, I'll go in and apply a thicker amount, like a bigger bead of the builder gel. And instead of kind of painting it on my nail, I'm going to float it across my nail just to make sure I get like a nice thickness with my builder gel and that I'm protecting my glitters. So I've got both nails fully cured now, so I'm just checking them to see if they're even or if I feel like I might file through a glitter. So I did think that my middle nail could use a little bit more builder gel, so I just want to show you how much I used there. And just a little close up on what I'm doing when I say like I'm floating the builder gel. So I'm placing that bead of builder gel on my nail, and then I'm just kind of pushing that around. I'm not pushing down, I'm just like gently pushing the builder gel around my nail. Builder gel does have an inhibition layer, which is a tacky layer, so you want to make sure before you file that you're wiping off that tacky layer with a lint-free wipe and some rubbing alcohol. If you don't do that before you file, you could gunk up your file, whether it's a hand file or an e-file, you could gunk it up because of that stickiness. So I just want to show you how easy this is to file, so I'll show you one nail. I'm going to be using my Phantom Pro dust collector from iGel Beauty and my hand file to show you on my thumb how easy this is to file. Now I will caution you though, builder gel files like butter, so it is really easy to file too much, so just be careful of that, but it is super easy to file. So normally I use my e-file, but I did want to show you because I know not everyone has an e-file or wants to invest in them, so I just want to show you how easy this really is. I went ahead and filed my other two nails off camera, so this is how we look after all nails are finished. So now we're going to go in with our dip top coat. So I'm going to apply one final layer of activator to all my nails, and then I'll wait 2 minutes before I go in with my dip top coat. And wait till you see the shine of this dip top coat. It is so shiny and so beautiful. I am just seriously loving these liquids lately. I've been using them a lot. Do you have any go-to dip liquids, dip top coats that you really love? I'm curious. I do have like my list of things, but I'm curious what everyone else has for their favorites. And now it's time to finish off my mani with my Candy skincare. So this is Vampire Blood, and this was actually part of her Halloween trio from last year. So I don't think it's available anymore. So sorry about that. But I just had to use it because I had like this Psycho Mani with like the blood spatter. So it was Vampire Blood. I had to use it. And here is the finished look. What do you think? Did I pull off another Halloween mani? I just love how like the red foils look like that blood spatter. I just think it's fun. And I have to say Psycho is really beautiful and fun on its own, but I think it makes a really great topper, and I love the way it looks on top of the thermal for that like transition look. So, I mean, overall, my first impressions of Sundara, they were really great. I loved their products. Their dip powders were easy to work with. They were so unique, and just, I loved my experience with them. Normally in my videos, I don't mix and match as many brands as I did, but I just didn't have like all of Sundara. I don't have any of Sundara's gels, so I had to use a different gel. And then I don't have Sundara's clear, so it is what it is. So I hope you don't mind the mix and match, but I'm still really impressed with the company, and I'll definitely be buying more. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it helps YouTube recommend me to others. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.